Today I continue the hunt for the best wireless gaming headset on the PC. We're looking at the Arctis 7 from SteelSeries, and there is a lot to like here. You're looking for cheap PC games? Check out Kinguin.net. Click the link in the description below to help support the channel and never pay full retail again. Yo, I'm Brian Peep. You're watching Bad Seed Tech and what's really good. So first and foremost, the price tag on the Arctis 7 from SteelSeries is $149 in the US. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, you might be able to score them for a lot cheaper, but we'll get into that later. These cans use the same 40mm drivers that SteelSeries use in their much higher end Siberia 800. They're rated from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and the impedance is 36 ohms. Now, if those specs sound a little familiar to you, it's because they're awful damn close to the G933s from Logitech. But honestly, that's where the similarities end. In the box, there's not a lot going on here. You get the receiver, a manual, a proprietary mini something to 3.5 4-pole right angle aux plug, and a different mini USB to USB for charging. These are all rubberized cables, nothing braided going on here. So first off, the looks. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. These things are damn sexy. Very sleek, and they do not look too wide on the head like the majority of headsets, especially wireless ones that I've tested. The plastic on offer here is matte, and the outsides of the ear cups are rubberized, so no fingerprints that I could find. And there is zero RGB on this unit, unlike the wired Arctis 5s. Unlike the Arctis 3 and 5, the headband here is aluminum instead of plastic, and it uses like this ski goggle inspired elastic band. The configuration is a little different on this headband as well versus some of the other models. The build quality here appears to be rock solid. I can see where this elastic might make some people nervous, but SteelSeries offers replacements of these either in the stock design or in a different design if you want to customize your headset a bit. Now, it's important to note here that the fit from these comes almost exclusively from the suspension headband design here, which means there is very minimal clamping force. It's not really going to get you here. The downside is that there's really no extension where the ear cups meet the headband, only a swivel to allow them to lie flat. Now, they lie flat great on the desk, and they also lie flat hanging next to another pair of headphones on an anchor, but where they don't lie flat very well is when they're around your neck, resting on your collarbone. There's not a lot of diameter inside this headband, and so basically you put these guys on, unless you have like the pencilist of pencil necks, they're gonna have you in a rear naked choke that'll have you tapping out pretty quick. So the obvious upshot is the lack of clamping force, but these seem to really be designed for a small to medium-sized head. I had to do some very fine adjustment on the elastic strap to give me just enough gap between the crown of my head and the aluminum headband so that the ear cups sit correctly on the sides of my ears. If that aluminum headband rests right on the crown of your head, you will start to feel that, and it can get uncomfortable very quickly. Now, if you do have a larger head, the headband being aluminum may be a benefit here because you can kind of flex on this guy a little bit to give it kind of a custom bend to help those ear cups get where they're trying to go. But in practice, I've found that the padding they used on the ear cups has a tendency to settle in after about 3 to 5 minutes of use, and they fit right into place, and after a while, you basically forget you're wearing them. The memory foam here is a little squishier, less dense than what you would see on some other headsets, and the fabric on the outside they call an airweave technology. It's basically like a sport mesh that's very breathable. I've worn these things for hours and hours on end, and I can tell you I don't get any heat buildup or anything like that, and they are big enough to sit all the way around the outside of the ear. The only thing you may want to be aware of is that if you're sensitive to things touching the sides of your ears, you'll definitely feel the inside of the ear cups hugging your ears. The lack of height adjustment where the ear cup meets the headband means that if these were any, and I mean any smaller at all, these would be a no-go for me. The diameter of my head for reference is 23 inches, and from the bottom of my earlobe to the crown of my head is 8 3/4 inches, so warning for you caveman types out there. There's also not a lot going on in terms of onboard control. On the left ear cup, you have a volume dial and a mic mute button. On the right, you get a chat mix dial and the on-off switch, which doubles as a battery indicator light. You've also got a couple of ports and the retractable mic. The overall look is decidedly minimalist in comparison to the G933. The only thing I really would have liked to see here, instead of the weird like headset sharing port, is a button to cycle through different EQ presets. So the look and the comfort are on point, but the big question is, what about the sound quality? And the answer is, it's pretty good. Now, what I mean by that is that the best compliment I can pay a pair of headphones is that when I take them out of the box and put them on my head, I'm not even curious about adjusting EQ settings. They just sound terrific right out of the box. And these left me going for the EQ to dial in the bass almost immediately. And that's the big sacrifice here. This is a clean unit. It's relatively lag-free. It's pretty accurate sound. But what it lacks, the sacrifice you're going to make, is the deep, low bass tones. The EQ emphasis here seems to be on the mid to low tones, which is great because it really still makes gunfire crack in titles like Ghost Recon Wildlands, The Division, Grand Theft Auto 5, the gunfire is still really punchy and cuts through the mix, no sweat. Where this fails, even despite heavy EQing, is I just can't accurately reproduce those nice round low bass tones. These are really prevalent in headsets like any offerings from HyperX or even the G933. This was really obvious when I plugged these with the aux cord into my Galaxy S8 and listened to music. It was less obvious when I listened to movies. Now, again, you might not be into like eyeball rattling bass. You might not like that sound signature and might really appreciate a more flat reference sound. And if so, this isn't going to be an issue for you at all. The simulated 7.1 on offer here is DTS Headphone X. And for my money, I got better sound quality and better directional positioning with this set to off. A note on volume here, I ran these at almost or at full blast the entire time I was playing games with these. I didn't get any fatigue associated with this, and in all fairness, years in the nightclub industry have left my hearing compromised. I don't know if this will be an issue for you. I wouldn't have really wanted to listen to them any louder, but it makes me a little nervous that there's no additional overhead there. So how about that mic? Well, the guys at SteelSeries say that this is, quote, the best mic in gaming. And it's a solid mic, don't get me wrong. But anybody who's heard the Sennheiser Game 1 or Game 0 mic would be happy to dispute that fact.
On a phone call, the person on the other end thought the Arctis 7 mic sounded like I was actually on the phone, whereas like the HyperX Revolver S mic definitely gave the impression I was on a Bluetooth headset of some sort. Noise canceling was on point as well, with the caller being unable to detect a rather noisy exhaust fan positioned about 3 to 4 feet away, so points on the board there.
They also score big points for the inclusion of side tone. Normally in a closed back headset, if you can't hear your own voice in the cans, it has a tendency to make me a little claustrophobic. So side tone allows you to hear yourself and it adds a little balance to the room, a little equilibrium. I really appreciate the inclusion here. But overall, I mean, the mic is solid. It's more than suitable for taking phone calls if you're sitting at your desk and you got your headset on, and it's definitely suitable for playing in game. But as far as being the best mic in gaming, those marketing guys might want to dial that back a little bit. I also love the way that the mic retracts into the ear cup here. It is worth noting that the only way to mute this mic is to actually use the mic mute button on the back of the headset. Simply pushing it into the ear cup is not going to trigger the mute there. And while it is handy, you will need two hands to push that mic back in, because with the minimal clamping force of this headset, if you attempt to do that one-handed, all you're going to do is push the ear cup off the side of your head. But the battery life on these things is crazy. They advertise a 24-hour usage time, not standby, usage. And I can tell you in practice over the past couple weeks, that's surprisingly accurate. They also have a tendency to charge really fast. So I love the battery life. The downside with this is that you have to use a secondary charging cable, which takes up an additional USB port on the back. This is similar to the way the Corsair Void Wireless handles things. So for me, the Logitech G933 with its one cord, like play and charge solution is definitely where it's at, and I would love to see this implemented in future revisions. The range on these is really good as well. I was able to navigate to like every corner of my apartment, behind walls, doors, multiple rooms, HVAC equipment, whatever, with no degradation in audio at all. Just full clear audio the entire time, no cutouts, no hiccups, nada. An important note here that I noticed while testing these, make sure, even if your wireless receiver is plugged in, you need to power on the headset and pair it before you start your game. For whatever reason, trying to do this after the game had already started resulted in no audio for me and me having to restart the game. So just something to look out for. The SteelSeries software design is also very minimal here, which I liked. In practice, I had no issues with it at all. All the information is on one page, no navigating, all the controls are right there at your fingertips, and everything is very intuitive. So there it is. Overall, for $150, this is a very, very capable headset. Its competition is going to run right with the likes of the Logitech G933 or the Razer ManaWar. What I loved, aside from the obvious convenience of wireless, are the looks, the comfort, the minimalist design the controls on the back, the minimalist aesthetic for the software, the battery life, the range, the retractable mic, the build quality. There's so much to like here. Now, I was not a big fan of the lack of serious bass response, the proprietary aux cable, or the fact that I had to have both the wireless receiver and the charging cable plugged in simultaneously to use this unit while I was charging it. Now for the kicker. From time to time, these things go on sale. I got mine for $99 between Black Friday and Cyber Monday on Amazon. That is a hell of a deal. Then they immediately went back up to full price. But right now, at the time that you're watching this video, right when this video drops, they are $99 on Amazon again. At $149, I can sit here and go, pros and cons and debate them against other units. At $99, I'm dead ass serious. There is no comparison. If you're looking for a solid wireless gaming headset for your PC, you would be a fool to pass these up at $99. And you know the deal. I'll put an affiliate link in the description below if you want to dive on that and grab a pair for yourself. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.